Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another video on Supergirl Season 3, Episode 11, and today we're going to be talking about the photos that were just released. And before we start this video, I just want to say there was a trailer for Episode 11 that was leaked online today, so I'm sure all of you guys have seen it, but I'm not going to be uploading my trailer breakdown for that until Monday, because that is a leaked trailer, and that's just going to spoil a whole load of stuff for you guys, so I'm going to avoid doing that trailer breakdown until Monday night. I will probably release my breakdown Monday night, and just release it a bit earlier than I would normally, because I would normally upload my trailer breakdown Tuesday night, so you might get that a bit early. So that segment's just to clarify that it's going to be on Monday night. I'm not going to break down the leaked trailer as of now because it's just going to spoil so much for you guys. But my final announcement, we're doing the 4-channel crossover in a couple of hours from now, and it's going to be at 7 PM UK time, so from whenever this video is uploaded, translate from 7 PM GMT to whatever time zone you're in. So please be sure to go over and subscribe to Paige's channel, because that's where the live stream's going to be, and it's going to be with Eric's Reloaded, Paige, Boba Talks, and myself. So we're going to be talking about everything about DCTV and some other stuff. But anyway, moving on to today's video, so we're going to be breaking down the photos. So there were quite a few photos that were released, and these photos are really interesting. So in the first photo, we see Livewire. So you might not recognize her at first because she's not in her Livewire getup, and she's working at some sort of cafe or restaurant, and she's a waitress. So I have to say, this look is really Riverdale-like. And if you didn't know, the actress Britt Morgan actually plays a character on Riverdale, and she's really good on that show. And at first, I totally didn't click onto that, but then I realized more recently when it was announced Livewire was coming back, I was like, wait, she's Penny on Riverdale, right? Seems very Riverdale-ish, and it suits Britt Morgan. It feels like a very American diner, because you associate the waitresses with coffee, and she's got coffee in her hand, and she's got the typical waitress getup. So she's going to be working there, and that is to get away from the life that she was living before as a villain, because otherwise she would be in prison. And last time we saw her, Supergirl let her go in season 2, so we're going to be catching up with Livewire, seeing what she's been doing in the meantime. So she's going to be teaming up with Supergirl, Sai, who we saw in episode 2 of season 3, and also Saturn Girl. So it's an all-girls team up, and this is actually going to be so good. Like, this is one of my most anticipated episodes, because the whole premise of the story with them going to Fort Ruz and finding a person that's going to help with stopping rain, and I'm going to be explaining that, because in the next few photos we get the explanation as to who roughly she is. But moving on to the next photo, we see a person, and she's got the same house crest from Krypton that Rain has on her suit, and she has the Fortress of Sanctuary, and her maker has the same symbol. So this is the actress who actually played Ursa in the original Superman film, so that's another callback to the Superman lore and DC lore, because Supergirl does like to get those actors in, so it's really cool seeing her. I saw this actress at an event once in England about 6 months back, and she's a really nice person, so I'm very excited to see her, and I'm 99.999% sure that this is the disgraced Kryptonian Priestess that Thomas Coville was talking about, that Thomas Coville actually encounters. So our theory about the priestess coming into the light and actually telling us details about Rain and how to defeat her does seem to be the case of what's going to be happening in episode 11. And lots of people have been confusing this person with the maker that Rain has been talking to, the hologram. It's a totally different actress, and they are different people, because remember, if you go back to the end of season 2, in the post-credit scene we saw a load of those people. It seems like Rain's makers were part of a religious cult, and with this person being a disgraced Kryptonian priestess, we could assume maybe most of them are priestesses, or they're lower down than that in the ranks of when they actually used to be on Krypton. And the reason why she's here in person is because she was put into Fort Ruz, because she was disgraced, and the Kryptonian Council put her into Fort Ruz for whatever she was doing, and I'm assuming her crime has something to do with Rain and making these non-biological Kryptonians. But moving on to the next photo, so it's just a photo of Supergirl, and Supergirl is going to be encountering this Kryptonian Priestess in this episode, and they're going to be talking and trying to get information on Rain. As we see in the next few photos, Supergirl actually comes face to face with Rain, and we saw in the leaked trailer, but I'm going to try and avoid too many spoilers to do with that. They actually are able to talk, and it seems like Supergirl feels like there's something else to do with Rain, that it's not only this evil dark persona that's just inside her. She sees the light in her, and that's what's going to be happening in that scene. But moving on to the next photo, which is probably one of my favorite photos of the photos that were released, because the colors and everything to do with that, the darkness with the blue, really works well alongside the Supergirl costume, and it just looks like a very nice picturesque scene, like it could be in a painting or something like that. But again, we get another photo of Supergirl actually face to face with this Kryptonian Priestess, and they're talking together, and it seems like this is on Fort Ruz, and we are going to be going to Fort Ruz, and obviously that's the title of the episode. So the final photo, we see Livewire fighting against Rain, and this is something that I'm highly anticipating because I really like Livewire. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I think she's a great villain, and she brings that sort of mischievous aspect to the villainous side. She's not a full-on villain, you know, there is good in her, and that's partially the reason why Supergirl let her go in season 2, so I'm excited to see her and see if she's been redeemed. Is it possible that a person can change that radically? Quickly to mention, I mentioned this earlier, but Sai is going to be coming back in this episode, and I'm looking forward to her because her and Imra, that being Saturn Girl, have very similar powers because they both have telekinesis, and obviously they work differently. It seems like Sai's is more mentally, as you could see, but then it looks like Saturn Girl's powers are more external, because if you saw in the sneak peek, Saturn Girl actually had to use her hands and she could lift stuff with her mind, so it's a different type of power, but it's quite similar in the overall aspect of how their powers work. But anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
It doesn't make us strong, it doesn't make us weak. Tongue tied to service like shy free.